Hi everyone, my name is Zhenya Melnik, and here we have Nick and we have Chaz. They're both from America. Nick was in the Marine Corps and Chaz was Navy. Last time I met Chaz, it was after the Nova Kakhovka Dam was blown up by Russians. How did that impacted the landscape now? What did it change in terms of like tactical possibility of tactical operations and stuff?
There hasn't been any big difference. You still have a river. At the end of the day, it's maybe a little bit smaller now, but like I said, when you were there when the flood waters came up, and that would make it obviously very difficult because now you have houses, there's debris, you don't know where the river is shifted. There's a lot of unknowns. But after a couple weeks and all the water so I'm looking at it right now on the map. You still have a river so the tactics may have to change a little bit because the water may flow a slightly different way, or there's a house that's no longer there, or something like that. But strategically, there's no difference.
I'm mostly in agreement with Chaz. I don't think there's really too much of a tactical significance. I think that one of the larger problems below the dam is that, like I stated before, there was a lot of mines and stuff like that along the bank that have now been displaced, and nobody really knows where they are. Not that they really did before either, but I think that might have some significance. And then that area below the dam tends to be more low-lying ground, at least on the left bank. So I could see that it might be saturated now, harder to move tracked vehicles.
Do you think it's actually possible, or what needs to be done to cross the river? What's the main challenge of it as of for now?
A lot of people want to treat this river crossing as an amphibious operation. And whilst it will involve boats and crossing, it's really not an amphibious operation. It is breaching an obstacle. This river is no different than a minefield or a wire obstacle. And I think that the largest problem that we are going to face is gaining that initial foothold because of the terrain across that river and because it's very heavily fortified by the Russians. For a lot of that area, you're either going across the river directly into a complex urban environment. So you're going into a town, basically, or you're going into 1 kilometer to 2 kilometers of basically swamp. So it's like you're going into either way, you're going into a very difficult environment to operate in, and especially for armored vehicles.
And another big part about that is understanding what we're going to do when we get to the other side of the river. On the other side of the river from Kherson, you have Olevsky, right? Then once you get through that village, there's nothing. It's a desert. It's really the largest desert in Europe. I think the biggest problem is making sure we're fully prepared to make that push, because once we make that push and we get them on the back foot, we have to be able to exploit that, continue to push them and keep that pressure on them. We can't just get on the other side of the river and go, oh, cool, we're on the other side of the river now. Yay, yeah. So I think that's another big thing that's kind of hindering or slowing down our process to get over the river.